Okay, so this is gonna be a very small session on like how to actually work around Git and everything. Okay, so yeah, okay, so this is not my GitHub, sorry. Okay, my GitHub is this one. Right? Okay, so how to work around Git and how to actually make PRs for your Git, right? So okay, first of all, I will be using my friend's GitHub over here, like a repository from my friend's GitHub over here to show you how to make but yeah, PRs into it. Before that, I just need to take care of a few things. Just a second. I was actually shooting an earlier video. It got caught up in between due to some reason. Let me just clear this out very quickly. Mm, Okay. So for example, I will be working on this repository. I want to contribute some kind of PR to this repository. And before contributing over here, I need to make like, what should I say, a copy of this repository because my friend is the owner of this repository. He's the product owner of this repository and he has the push access to this repository. Now, I don't have the push access to this repository or I don't own any of the code in this repository and I can't change any of the code in this repository because if I am changing some kind of code or anything in this particular repository, it may hamper in many other ways, right? So yeah, this is not allowed. What we need to do is make a copy of this repository in our own GitHub. How do we do that? We do that by forking it. Okay. Fork basically means a copy of the project you want to create a PR to. So let me show you how it works. Created the fork. So when we move on over here, you can see my DP over here. This means that this is in my repository. So what I have actually done is created a copy of Braille Glove. Okay. This is my own repository. I can make any kind of changes over here. It doesn't need to be reflected to the original parent repository of this guy. Okay. This is just my copy of this entire thing. I can make any kind of changes over here. I can just delete this entire folder, write Ritankar over here and save it. It will not reflect any kind of thing into the like the into like the original repository until and unless he merges it into his repository. Okay. So this is what we do before making a PR. The next thing we do is we go on here, we click over here. Okay. Then sorry. Okay. Over here. Just a second. Let me also again clear very fast RM this thing. Okay, this was not a part of your now let's see like to get this onto your like computer, to get this onto your laptop, you need a copy of this entire thing on your laptop, right? So what you need to do is you click on yeah get clone. Okay, and the repos sorry get clone and this link. All right. Okay. So what this command does is it clones into your repository. Okay. This means it is making a clone of the repository. Now, if I click on all of the projects over here, so you can see B. Let's find out B. Braille glove. Okay. So this is like this entire project has been copied onto my system. So CD Braille glove. You can do this entire thing from like your directory structure as well. I'm doing it from the terminal. It completely depends upon it. Doesn't require to be like this. Then just open a new terminal on your VS Code. Then the next thing you want to do is, for example, I need to make README changes over here. Okay. The first thing you need to do over here, I will be writing all the things over here only. The first thing you will be doing over here is make a new branch. All right. Okay, so this is the first thing. Now, how to make a new branch? Click on over here. You will be getting three options. Create new branch, create new branch from. Click on create new branch from. Always choose main. Do not choose anything else other than main. You wouldn't be needing anything else other than main for as of now. Like until and unless you understand the entire branching structure very deeply, do not choose anything other than main. Now I will be just giving an overview of what actually happens when you choose something other than main. For example, I will now make a branch. I will now make two branches. Okay, main. One is readme changes. This what I've done. This I've chosen from main. Okay. Now when I click on another, I create new branch from. I will be making three branches. Chalo. Another branch, I will be choosing main only. This I will be choosing firmware changes. Firmware changes. Okay, so this is my firmware changes. The next branch I will be making from is create new branch from. I will be choosing not main, firmware changes. I will be choosing backend changes. Okay. So these are the three branches over here. Now you might say all of those three branches are the same. All of those three branches are absolutely same. It's not the case. Like main is the original branch, right? It has the entire repository structure and everything. Now, what were the two branches which we made from main? README changes and firmware changes, right? So main has been made, like one branch has been made from main, which is README changes. The second branch has been made from main, which is firmware changes. Firmware changes. Okay. So what does README changes branch as? An exact copy of main. Got it? Now, what does firmware changes have? Firmware changes has also got an exact copy of main. Okay. This both will reflect main until and unless something has been committed into main. This is some new changes which I'm making in readme.md. These are also some new changes which have been getting added into main, right? So this will not get reflected in everything else which has been in the project will get reflected into it. Now, for example, this is backend changes. Okay, sorry, I'm in the backend changes branch. Let me move on to README changes branch. Okay, so README changes now has an exact copy of main, and firmware changes has an exact copy of main also. Now, what about backend change? Backend changes is a branch. Backend changes is a branch which I have made from the firmware changes branch, right? Firmware changes branch. So what does this has? An exact copy of firmware changes, not the main changes, an exact copy of firmware changes. Okay, so yeah, uh, let me move on to firmware changes. Just let me commit this very fast. You will then get an idea, okay, what is actually happening. So don't look into this commit changes. Now I'm making another branch from firmware changes only. I'm not naming it backend changes. Let me name it backend one changes, okay? Because I need those changes to show you guys. Backend one changes. Okay, so backend one changes. This now what is backend one changes? Its parent is firmware changes, and it has an exact copy of firmware changes. Right, got it. So okay, now let's see. This is readme changes. Do we get this entire thing over here? No. This is because it is an exact copy of main, like I said you. Now let's move on to firmware changes. Do we get this thing? Yes, we do get, because I have just now committed this over here. Okay. And now let's move on to backend one changes. Do we also get this entire thing over here? Yes, because like I said, backend one changes. Now let me show you another thing. Backend changes. Does this have this entire thing? No. This is because like this branch has been created before firmware changes had this commit inside it. Okay. I hope this is clear. If this portion is not clear, you can also ping me up. I will like, yeah, make it more clear to you guys. Now let's move on to backend one changes. Now, what does actually backend one changes have? An exact copy of the firmware changes. Now, I have like made this changes in firmware branch and committed them. And then I had made the backend one changes branch from the firmware changes branch. So it got copied from this entire thing. Like the backend one changes branch reflects the entire copy of the firmware changes and not of main. And now when you're making PRs, for example, you have made a PR on a branch of firmware changes and you have made it of approximately 2000 lines. Okay. So when you're not making a branch, another branch from main, you're making it from backend one changes, you're actually adding on to 2000 lines. And for example, this has been approximately 2000 lines also. So when you will be making the PR for those, you will be actually adding on to 2000 plus 2000, 4000 lines of changes into it, which is tail changes and which you don't want. And there is also a way around this. Then you need to work around with Git reways and everything. So like that's a lot of complex Git topics. We will also be going through in depth of this, but this is a very generic session. So yeah. So for now, my advice, like I hope I could have made this entire thing clear to you people. My advice would be just make your changes from main. Okay. Like all of your, like, yeah, make all of your branches from main itself. Okay. Let me move on to main. Yeah, I need to commit this, otherwise I can't move on. leave the commit. Let's move on to main. I don't have the changes. Yeah. So yeah, what will you do before making a PR? Create a new branch. Don't look anywhere else. Just click on main. Okay. Give the branch name Ritankar, for example. Yeah, branch naming and commit message convention should be followed by like yeah at your particular repository properly. Okay. For example, this is Ritankar. This message is for my friend because he would also be shocked to get a PR from me suddenly. So yeah, okay. Now I will be making this PR. Okay. So what we need to do is, for example, I have made changes in another file as well at the same time. For example, the index.html file. I have just added a space. A space is also a change. Okay. So how can you see in all of the files you have made changes? Git status. This command helps you to see all of the files you have made changes to. Okay. Now, if you can add the files one by one, like git add dot readme, and also like add commit messages for them one by one. I'm just adding like arbitrary commit messages. Please do not do this. Add proper conventional commit messages of your particular repository. And over here you can see like one changes has been staged, one changes has not been staged. So let me click on to git commit dash m again very fast. Oh, sorry. I need to add the files, right? Okay. Now, what does git add dot comes handy in? Git add dot means you need to like you can add all of the files at once. Okay. Now there was only one file pending, so I wrote git add dot. It added one file. If there were three files pending, it would have added all the three files at once. Okay. So git commit dash m. This is the second commit message. I'm done. This is all you need to do. Make your changes, add those changes, commit those changes. Now, how do we make a PR for this repository? Okay, git push origin. Now, see, like main was the branch's name. This is also branch's name, right? So git push origin Ritanka. Git push origin your branch name. Did you get the command? Git push origin branch name. All right. So yeah, and then to make a PR, copy this link. Sorry. Where is it? Yeah. Go over here. Don't do this, okay? Don't make your PR from here. You will just make things more complex. Yeah. Just paste this link over here. Okay. And yeah, your PR link will open up. You can also see the changes you have made. I have made changes. I had made changes in this file also. है ना? So, yep. Okay. Right. Add your comments, whatever it is. Like, of course, you will not be adding this comment. You will be adding like better comments and better PR descriptions and everything. So yeah, and then you like create on pull request over here. Okay. So this is the entire process of how you make a pull request. He will probably be calling me because yeah, you will be getting a pull request out of the blue. And yeah, now let me show you actually how an actual pull request looks. Okay. So this is the entire process for you guys to make a pull request. It's very simple, honestly. Don't overcomplicate things. Now, let me show you how to actually work around pull requests. How do actual pull requests look? Okay. So, let me show you a nice one. Okay. For example, this is a pull request. Okay. This is one repository I have been working on called Rattler. Now, I have made this pull request. You can see I have made one commit in this pull request. This is the commit. And now see the structure of the commit message. Feature, colon, a proper commit message. And I did this why? This is because it was the convention of this repository to make commit messages like this. So I followed the entire commit message guideline and made commit messages like this. Okay. Next, we see this file. Like these are the changes I have made in this file. And I have made the commit message and I've pushed onto this. Don't go for this now. You don't need this now. Sign off is another thing. We will be teaching it in a later GitHub session. Then yeah, and see how I've mentioned everything. Description, summary, follow up to these are all PR links. Okay. When you do this in GitHub, these are all PR links. And review, before, after, how has this been tested, checklist. Most of the organizations will give you the PR like description form, which you need to just fill it up. And yeah, this is the maintainer who has been talking with me. And yeah, these are all of the changes which we have been doing till now. Do you think you would be able to just GF? Okay, I missed this comment. I will be doing this tonight. So yeah, whatever it is. Yeah, this is how you work around PRs. Okay, your maintainer will be talking with you. He will be asking you to change this, remove this line. Okay, this is just a comment I got. Yeah, then I have been talking with him. He asked for the GIF. So yeah, whatever your maintainer asks, just do that. Move on with it. And you can also see the files changes and everything. Okay. So this is how you work around proper PRs in GitHub. And yeah, this was it. If you have any more doubts and everything, do tell me. Okay, I'm always available. So yeah, that's all. Thank you.